Hey everybody, welcome to the How To channel. Today, we're diving into the amazing world of candle making. You know, for centuries, candles have lit our world. They've been there for romantic dinners, set the mood for relaxing baths, and even helped us study for big exams. But did you know that making your own candles is super easy and fun? It's true. With just a few simple steps, you can create your own fragrant masterpieces right at home. No need for fancy equipment or years of experience. We'll walk you through every step of the way, from choosing the perfect wax to adding your favorite scents. Get ready to unleash your inner artist and learn a craft that's both rewarding and practical. By the end of this video, you'll be a candle-making pro. You'll be able to impress your friends and family with your newfound skills. And the best part is, you can let your creativity shine through with endless possibilities for customization. So, are you ready to embark on this exciting journey into the world of DIY candle making? Let's gather our materials and get started. Remember to like this video and subscribe to the How To channel for more awesome tutorials. Let's do this. Alright, candle enthusiasts, let's get started. The first step is to gather all the necessary supplies. Don't worry, you don't need a fancy workshop or expensive equipment. Most of these items you can find around your house or at your local craft store. First things first, you'll need wax. This is the base of your candle, and you have a few options here. Soy wax is a popular choice because it's natural, burns cleanly, and holds scents well. You can also find beeswax, paraffin wax, and even some cool blends online or at craft stores. Now let's talk about wicks. The wick is the heart of your candle, and it plays a crucial role in how well your candle burns. Without the right wick, even the best wax won't perform well. The wick is essential for a good burn, so choose wisely. A well-chosen wick ensures an even burn, preventing issues like tunneling, where the candle burns down the middle, leaving wax on the sides. Wicks come in different sizes and materials, and the right one depends on the type of wax and the size of your candle. For example, cotton wicks are great for soy wax, while wooden wicks add a unique crackling sound. Don't worry, we'll cover that in more detail later. Understanding the relationship between wick size, material, and wax type is key to mastering candle making. You can usually find wicks wherever you buy your wax. Craft stores and online retailers offer a wide variety of options, so you can experiment to find what works best for you. Next up, you'll need something to melt your wax in. Melting wax evenly is crucial for a smooth, consistent candle. A double boiler is ideal because it provides gentle, even heat. This method helps prevent the wax from overheating, which can affect the quality of your candle. But if you don't have one, no worries. You can easily improvise with items you already have at home. You can easily create a makeshift double boiler by placing a heat-resistant glass measuring cup or bowl over a pot of simmering water. This setup works just as well and is a great alternative. Just make sure the water doesn't touch the bottom of the container holding the wax. This ensures that the wax melts evenly without any risk of burning. Section 3. Wicks, the conduit of light. Now, for the fun part, fragrance. This is where you can let your creativity run wild. Essential oils are a great natural option, and they come in a huge variety of scents. You can find everything from lavender and vanilla to more unique blends like sandalwood and bergamot. If you're feeling adventurous, you can even experiment with blending your own signature scents. And of course, you'll need something to stir your concoction with. A simple metal spoon or a heat-resistant spatula will do the trick. Avoid using wood utensils as they can absorb the fragrance and affect future candles. Section 4. Fragrance and color, the soul of your candle. Finally, let's talk about color. Adding color is optional, but it can really enhance the look of your candles. You can find specific candle dyes at craft stores, or you can use crayons for a more budget-friendly option. Just be sure to use crayons that are made from non-toxic wax. We'll get into quantities and specifics in a bit, but for now, just gather up these basic supplies and get ready to dive into the world of candle making. It's easier than you think and a lot more fun. Alright, now that we've got our supplies ready, let's talk about setting up your workspace. Creating candles is fun and rewarding, but it's important to have a dedicated area where you can work safely and efficiently. You don't need a fancy studio, just a space where you can melt wax, pour candles, and let them cool without worrying about making a mess. A kitchen counter or table works perfectly. It's all about having enough space to spread out your supplies and work comfortably. Lay down some newspaper or a silicone mat to protect your surface from any spills. Trust me, wax can get messy. Before we go any further, let's talk about safety. Working with hot wax requires caution, so always prioritize your well-being. First and foremost, never leave melting wax unattended. It's like cooking, you always want to keep an eye on things. Make sure you have good ventilation in your workspace. Melting wax can release fumes, so open a window or turn on a fan to keep the air fresh. It's also a good idea to wear an apron or old clothes that you don't mind getting a little wax on. Next, clear the area of any flammable materials. Keep paper towels, curtains, and anything else that could catch fire away from your workspace. It's better to be safe than sorry. Have a fire extinguisher nearby just in case. You never know when you might need it, and it's always better to be prepared. Finally, keep kids and pets away from your workspace. Hot wax and curious little hands or paws don't mix. Set some boundaries and let them know that this is your creative zone. Now that we've covered safety, let's talk organization. Candle making is a lot more enjoyable when you have a designated spot for everything. Use trays, bowls, or containers to keep your wicks, scents, dyes, and other supplies separate and within easy reach. Having a well-organized workspace will make the process smoother and more efficient. Plus, it'll be easier to clean up afterward. Trust me, a little organization goes a long way in the world of candle making. Now that we've got our workspace prepped and our safety gear on, we're ready to dive into the fun part, melting the wax and pouring our candles. Stay tuned, things are about to get creative. All right, folks, it's time to fire things up. We're going to melt our wax using the double boiler method. Remember that makeshift double boiler we talked about earlier? Now's the time to put it to use. Fill the bottom pot with a couple of inches of water and bring it to a gentle simmer. Don't let the water boil rapidly, as this can make the wax too hot too quickly. We're aiming for a slow and steady melt. Place your chosen wax into the top pot or heat-safe container and set it over the simmering water. Now here's where a thermometer comes in handy. You want to monitor the temperature of your wax closely to ensure it melts evenly and doesn't get too hot. Different types of wax have different melting points, so refer to the instructions on your wax packaging for the ideal temperature range. As the wax begins to melt, stir it occasionally with a heat-resistant spatula or spoon. This will help distribute the heat evenly and prevent any hot spots from forming. Patience is key here. Let the wax melt completely before moving on to the next step. Once your wax is fully melted and has reached the recommended temperature, it's time to add your fragrance. This is when your candles really start to come to life. The amount of fragrance oil you add will depend on the type of wax you're using and the intensity of scent you prefer. A good rule of thumb is to add 1 ounce of fragrance oil per pound of wax. However, you can adjust this ratio to your liking. Just be careful not to overdo it, as too much fragrance oil can affect the candle's burn quality. Stir the fragrance oil into the melted wax thoroughly, making sure it's fully incorporated. Section 4. Pouring your candles, a steady hand, and a creative spirit. While the wax is still hot and fragrant, carefully pour it into your prepared molds. Choose molds that suit your style. You can find everything from classic cylindrical molds to fun and funky shapes online or at craft stores. Before pouring, make sure your wicks are centered and secured in the molds. You can use wick stickers or a dab of hot glue to keep them in place. Pour the wax slowly and steadily into each mold, leaving about ½ inch of space at the top to allow for shrinkage as the candle cools. Section 5. Cooling and curing. Patience is a virtue. Once you've poured your candles, it's time to let them cool and cure. This is crucial for ensuring that your candles harden properly and burn evenly. Find a cool, dry place where your candles can sit undisturbed for at least 24 hours. Avoid placing them in the fridge or freezer, as this can cause the wax to crack. As tempting as it may be to light your creations right away, resist the urge. Curing allows the fragrance to bind with the wax and ensures a longer, stronger scent throw when you finally do light them up. Section 1. Unleash your inner artist, customizing your creations. Alright, now that you've mastered the basics of candle making, let's talk about taking your creations to the next level. Remember, the beauty of DIY is that you're the artist, and the possibilities for customization are endless. Let your imagination run wild and make those candles uniquely yours. Don't be afraid to experiment with different colors, scents, and embellishments. You can create candles that match your home decor, celebrate special occasions, or simply reflect your personal style. Remember those crayons we talked about earlier? They're not just for coloring books. Embellishing with flair. Adding that personal touch. One of the easiest ways to personalize your candles is by adding embellishments. Think of it like adding sprinkles to a cupcake. It's that final touch that makes all the difference. You can embed dried flowers, herbs, or spices directly into the wax for a touch of natural beauty. Just make sure the embellishments are completely dry before adding them to the wax to prevent any moisture from affecting the candle's burn. You can also get creative with glitter, sequins, or even small trinkets. Just remember to use heat-resistant materials and avoid anything that could be flammable. Sensational blends, crafting your signature aroma. Another fun way to customize your candles is by creating your own signature scents. Don't be afraid to experiment with different essential oil combinations to find blends that speak to you. Start with a base note, like vanilla or sandalwood, and then add in middle and top notes to create complexity and depth. For a refreshing and invigorating scent, try combining peppermint and eucalyptus. For a warm and cozy aroma, blend vanilla with cinnamon and clove. The possibilities are truly endless. Keep track of your favorite blends in a notebook so you can recreate them again and again. Experiment and enjoy the joy of DIY candle making. The most important thing to remember is to have fun and enjoy the process. Candle making is a wonderful way to relax, de-stress, and tap into your creative side. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. That's how you learn and grow. Embrace the imperfections and celebrate each successful candle you create. So go ahead, gather your supplies, put on some music, and let your inner candle-making artist shine through. And remember, if you're ever feeling stuck or need some inspiration, you can always re-watch this video or check out our channel for more creative DIY projects. So you've embarked on the rewarding journey of candle making. That's awesome. Like any craft, it has its quirks. But don't sweat it, even seasoned pros experience a hiccup or two. We're here to tackle those common candle conundrums head-on, turning potential frustrations into triumphs. Remember, a little troubleshooting can go a long way in perfecting your candle-making skills. Let's face it, not every candle will emerge from its mold looking like a flawless masterpiece. You might encounter a few bumps along the way, but that's part of the fun. Remember, every imperfection tells a story, and with a few simple tricks, you can easily fix those minor flaws and achieve candle-making perfection. Section 2. Sinkholes and air bubbles, a smooth surface solution. One common issue you might encounter is sinkholes or air bubbles forming in your candles. It happens to the best of us. Those pesky little craters appear when the wax cools and contracts unevenly. But fear not, there's an easy fix. A heat gun is your best friend in this situation. Gently heat the surface of the candle, moving the heat gun in a circular motion until the sinkhole or air bubble disappears. You can also use a hairdryer on its highest setting if you don't have a heat gun. The key is to apply gentle, even heat to remelt the wax and allow it to settle smoothly. Section 3. The fickle wick, taming the flame. Now let's talk about wicks. These small, often overlooked components play a crucial role in how your candle burns. Sometimes those little guys can be a bit finicky. They can cause a lot of frustration if not chosen or maintained properly. If your wick is mushrooming, that means it's forming a large charred ball at the end. It's a sign that the wick is too large for the candle. This can lead to excessive soot and an uneven burn. Simply trim the wick to about 1/4 inch before lighting. Regular trimming helps maintain a steady flame and reduces smoke. This will ensure a cleaner, more even burn. A well-maintained wick can make all the difference in your candle's performance. On the other hand, if your flame is weak or flickering excessively, the wick might be too small for the candle. This can result in a poor burn and wasted wax. In this case, try using a larger wick size next time. Adjusting the wick size can help achieve a more consistent and reliable flame. You can also experiment with different wick materials to find one that works best for your chosen wax and candle size. Different materials can affect the burn rate and stability of the flame, so don't be afraid to test and learn. Section 1. A Journey of Light and Scent. Welcome to a world where light and scent intertwine to create an atmosphere of serenity and beauty. And there you have it, folks. The joy of creating something with your own hands is truly unparalleled. You've officially journeyed into the heart of candle making, transforming simple ingredients into fragrant works of art. From melting the wax to pouring it into molds, each step is a labor of love. We've covered everything from choosing the right wax and wick, essential for ensuring your candle burns evenly and cleanly, to adding your personal touch with scents and embellishments. The choice of essential oils can transform a simple candle into a sensory experience. Remember that first candle you lit, the moment the flame caught the wick, how the gentle flicker of the flame brought a sense of warmth and tranquility to the room? It's a small light, but it has the power to change the entire atmosphere. Now, you have the power to recreate that magic anytime you want, filling your home with light and fragrance, with a touch of creativity and the know-how to craft candles that reflect your unique style. Each candle can be a reflection of your personality and taste. Think about the satisfaction of gifting a friend a candle you poured yourself, a gift that carries a piece of your heart. The scent a reminder of your thoughtfulness every time they light it. It's more than just a candle, it's a memory, a moment of peace, and a gesture of love. Section 2. Join the candle making community. So what are you waiting for? Gather your supplies, put on your creative cap, and dive into the wonderful world of candle making. Remember, practice makes perfect, and the most important thing is to have fun experimenting and exploring your creativity. And hey, while you're at it, why not share your candle making adventures with the world? Snap some pictures of your masterpieces, share your favorite scent combinations, or even leave a comment below telling us about your candle making experience. And don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you found it helpful, and subscribe to the How To channel for more awesome DIY tutorials. Until next time, keep those creative sparks flying.